Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about medical astrology and the asteroid Pallas. And first off, I want to talk about body parts, health-related matters that may pertain to Pallas. Now, Pallas is associated with the kidneys and debilitations that are attributed to a diminished or depleted immune system. Now, the thing about this is now the sign that Pallas is in can play a role in this. It may indicate some issues that might be connected with a depleted immune system, or it can also be if there's issues with the kidneys, it might play, a role in the maybe the kind of issues with them. I mean, if you have like, say, say Pallas is in Pisces. Now, I don't know if this actually. I mean, you're talking about Pallas in Pisces. Could it just be general dissolving or dissipation of the kidneys? Maybe it could be this, somebody that's constantly trying to dissolve kidney stones, perhaps. It could just indicate general deterioration of it. I have my Pallas in Pisces, so for me, that could be some issues that maybe with the lymphatic system or toes or feet, tingling in the toes or feet, that might be attributed to a diminished or depleted, weakened immune system. I had a kidney stone, at least one pulverized one time, and so I've had some issues with that, and I was trying to work on issues trying to dissolve it, and I guess you could say Pisces can be dissolving energy. Now, if you have, say for another example, if you have it in Capricorn, if this is possible, you can have there might be some issues with the bones, the joints, the knees, the hamstrings that may be connected with a weakened or depleted immune system. It could be also, what I want to say is look at the house that your natal Pallas falls in, because that could be the sector of life that could be strongly impacted by this energy. Now, my Pallas in Pisces falls in my 11th house. So the thing about this is any issues that I may deal with that are physical debilitations that may be associated with Pallas may strongly impact my friendships, situations with acquaintances, my goals, aspirations. And keep in mind too, the 11th house also rules the lower legs, because of course the 11th house in astrology corresponds with the zodiac sign Aquarius. So there may be some issues with that I have to deal with that might be tied in to a depleted immune system. So anyway, now another thing to look at when you're talking about Pallas and astrology, it's also important to look at the aspects that makes the points in the chart. Is this could uh, impact things to some degree. It might play a role in maybe some kidney issues somebody may have if they do have them, or it can be it might be like a contributing element to it, or if there's issues with the lymphatic system. I'm sorry, not the lymphatic system. There's issues with the immune system. It might play some role. Like in my example, for me, my I have the moon in Gemini making a square to my natal Pallas in Pisces. Now, the square to it is it's interesting because I actually, again, I've had kidney issues. The kidneys can be associated with Pallas in astrology. This is and the fact is you're also talking about being in Pisces. Um, you're talking about the sign associated with drugs, and it's interesting because at the time I had the kidney stone issues, I was having, you could say, an exorbitant amount of caffeine and not really replenishing that much with actual water. And caffeine can be considered a drug, I would say. And Pisces is the sign associated with drugs. So what it tells me is that you're talking about, like in my case, kidney issues that were associated with it would probably play a strong figure prominently in this, having a drug known as caffeine, because a lot of caffeine and not much water to replenish it can contribute to kidney issues. Now, dehydration. And the fact that it makes a square to my natal moon in Gemini certainly didn't help matters, because you're talking about the moon being associated with water retention and being in a mercurial inconstant sign, Gemini. So you get the idea that I wasn't having my water replenishing fluids in my body that consistently, and perhaps that played a role in issues with as far as the kidney issues I had at the time. Now, another thing too is that it's important to look at transits that involve Pallas, because that could play a role in health issues that can be connected with the asteroid. Now, let's say, for example, somebody has the transit south node, um, making a conjunction to their natal Pallas, and say, especially if it's making a separating conjunction aspect to the natal Pallas. Now, in some cases, that may manifest in some kind of kidney issue, or something with a diminished immune system that might be passing. At the time, say if it's in Leo, it might be something with the immune system that may have been tied, a weakened immune system that might be connected with the heart or upper back pain. Now, another example, let's say that somebody has transit Pallas and Capricorn in their third house. Now, that could be some issues that somebody may be dealing with. Maybe it might be something with the bones, the joints, the knees, that can be connected or attributed to a diminished immune system, and it might impact them in terms of their short journeys and driving, because the third house is, of course, it's associated with short journeys and local transportation, so it can be about driving as well. And now, another thing too is that it's important to look at, also progress aspects in a progress chart that involve the asteroid Pallas can play a role as well, in terms of perhaps some issues that might be kidney related, or something again with a depleted or diminished immune system. Now, let's say somebody, for example, they have Mars making an adverse aspect to their natal, to their, in their progressed chart. Mars is making an adverse aspect to Pallas. Well, this could be something where somebody might be dealing, with it could be a lot of pain that can be associated. It could be with an issue attributed to a diminished immune system, or it could be some kind of kidney issue that is causing more exasperation and irritation and more acrimony, more so than in a lot of in most other instances. So those are some ways that could you could say that could manifest and pan out. And let's say if you have Jupiter in the progress chart, another example, if you have Jupiter conjunct Pallas, remember, as I've spoken about in previous videos, that Jupiter, though it's very paradoxical, even though it's benign and benevolent, could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. If you have Jupiter, say, conjunct Pallas, whether it's in a progress chart, or it's in a natal chart, or even through a transit aspect, it could actually enlarge some issues that would be associated with Pallas. Again, something with the kidneys, or something with a depleted or diminished immune system. If it's in Taurus, it could be one that's very persistent. And so, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.